That with all the honesty in my heart. Time keeps moving and you keep getting older, and what you do with your life is completely in your hands. More so than ever in 2018, where 99% of us have a magic mirror in our pocket that connects us to every corner of the globe. You have an opportunity that your grandparents and your parents never had to create a community around your own interests. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about privilege, what it means to grow up in a city as privileged and lucky as Fullerton, California. You may not see it from the inside, but your school is constantly renovating and bringing in new programs to give you tools to succeed in the real world. And so what I'm here to do, more than anything, if I can provide one iota of value to you next generation sitting here before me, it's to give you the space to sit down with yourself and ask very honestly, no baloney, what is it you want to do for the rest of your life? What do you want? Where do you want to end up? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to impact? And then start to make all the decisions you can to get yourself there. Because I truly believe that your generation has all the answers the older generation is fighting over, trying to figure out. And it is a great testament to the administration and to the teachers at this school and in this city that they have so much faith in your ability to come up with these ideas that they are paying me hundreds of dollars to be here today. Got it? Yes. So let's dive in. I need the remote. Is this cable long enough? Good. Oh, look, that's up there. Let's go back. So, you're like, wait a minute. Who's that clown up there? My name is Jeremy Charles Home. And you may be asking yourself, who am I? Why does it matter? I'm a professional clown. That is actually me, and this is actually what I do for a living. I'm also an actor, and I'm a teacher, an educator. I've been working with kids for more than 10 years. But today, I am here to offer you, ready for that Alex Trebek drum roll, the chance of a lifetime. Got it? We're going to talk about social enterprise. Everybody goes, ooh. All right, have I changed your life yet? Okay, well then we'll press on. So today I'm going to be explaining to you what a social enterprise is, how a social enterprise is different than a non-profit or a for-profit business. How do you turn an idea that you might have in your mind right now into a business model by doing things like setting up a mission statement, marketing in a 2018 world, developing a product and service that matters for people, and working in teams? How many of your parents own a business? Raise your hand. How many of you have worked for a business or have some kind of job? Hands down. How many of you guys have tried to sell something, have hustled? You've sold candy bars, or you've picked flowers and sold those flowers back to the people who you picked them from? Okay. So we are talking today about business. And business comes down to a few very simple things, but let's stop for a second. Half of us in this room are asking ourselves, why did the school decide to send a clown to teach us about business? But there's a very simple reason, and it's this word, entrepreneur. Will you say it for me? Entrepreneur. Raise your hand if you've heard this word before. Great, you get a gold star for the day. This word comes from a French word slightly pronounced entreprendre, which means to undertake or to try. The entrepreneur in a business is the person who takes on the bulk of the financial risk. If you have a business idea and you want me to run the business and pay for it and it costs $1 million, the entrepreneur is either the person who came up with the idea and puts forward the money, or I would be an investor if you were going to run the business. You guys have heard about this a little bit? We understand that in today's society, you can create an app and then ask people for money to fund it, and that is often how businesses get started. That's not how they used to always get started. They used to just be funded by the entrepreneur themselves. You would raise the money or you would make the money, okay? But the French word meaning to try is where I come in, because I have certainly tried many things before coming to you today. And the business plan looked a little something like this. I had a question mark over my head. And I was like, I've got a lot of questions about the world. Oh, that leads me to this idea. If this idea works, it's very possible it could lead to a lot of money in the entertainment. Oh no, actually that didn't work out for me. And it led me somewhere else. And then I was back to questions. I was like, I have all of these questions, all these things I want to change in the world, things I want to do. I want to tour the world. I want to see the world. Oh, what if I did this? If I did this, I'll be able to retire in the Bahamas. I'll live a cozy life. That didn't work either. It led me to something else. I lost a lot of money. And I said, what's wrong? Did I make am I doing something wrong? Am I not good enough? Is it my product or service? Was it the wrong timing? I wasn't sure, but that led me to a new idea, and I thought to myself, if I could help people tell the stories that they're afraid to tell for themselves, give them the tools to perform them live in a theater, not only might I make some money, but they could actually have a really big impact on people. And then that sent me off. And I've been working with that business and several other nonprofit businesses for the last 10 years. So why do I tell you that? Because there's no guarantees in business. The market decides whether or not your product is good enough. Timing and who you work with all matters. But it matters even more that you persevere past your first failure. Just because you fail does not make you a failure. Someone once said, if anyone that ever looks like you has ever done it, you can do it too. And this is a very serious thing that was not a reality 100 years ago. 100 years ago, if you didn't fit the straight white man model for business, you didn't get heard in the conference room. Looking at all these female faces in the room, it is a new prospect in the last 100 years that your opinion has been truly valued in these conversations. And I encourage you to look into the history and the women who have paved the way for you and continue to pave the way for the generation that will follow you. Never underestimate your own power to make a difference. So let's jump into what actually is a social enterprise. I've sort of explained that it's a business, but it has its own twist. It can be nonprofit, it can be for-profit, but it has two basic goals. Those goals are to provide a social aid and to earn revenue. PowerPoint. PowerPoint, do it. So, to provide a social aid, like, for example, feeding the homeless or working with elderly who don't have access to certain things. Companies you may have heard of like Meals on Wheels, which deliver meals to elderly people who can't make it out of their houses. I believe in you, technology. I believe in you so much. Okay, I'm going to hit the button. So the next thing that is the goal to earn revenue. Is this going to work now? No. Okay. How many of you know this word revenue? 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 Some of us? Can you tell me, sir?
It's like money you make.
It's like money you make. That's very true. Money. We're talking about money. Another way we can talk about revenue is income. It's all the money that comes in. Okay? But how many of you know the word profit? How many of you think revenue and profit are the same? Awesome. Then you have great parents or teachers. So we're talking about money and money and money. Most people get it mixed up that revenue is profit, and it's not. So if you all know that, then who can tell me how revenue becomes profit? What do you have to factor? Yes?
In order for revenue to be profit is only in economic and financial terms that is related to money, but revenue can have multiple meanings other than money, such as benefiting to other people and others.
That's a very good point. For the purposes of talking about finances and money, however, revenue becomes profit when you factor in the cost. So it's very simple. How much would you pay for this hat? $20. Great. Okay. You give me $20, I give you this hat. So I have $20 that I just made for the hat that I just sold. It's a product transaction. But it cost me $10 to make that hat. So my revenue, the total money in is 20. It cost me $10. How much profit do I have? And now you guys are ready to create your own budget. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, if anyone's ever talking to you about revenue or income, know that that's money that's coming in. If they're talking to you about costs or expenses, know that that's money that's going out. Some of this may seem obvious to you, but me and many of my generation never were told this. It's not the sort of thing like you learn how to do your taxes in school. Why? I can't answer that question, but we're trying to make a difference. So here's an example. You may have heard of this company, Tom's Shoes. I'm going to play a short video that discusses what they do. So that was it right there. With every pair of shoes you purchase, Tom's will give a pair of shoes to a child in need. So this is a for-profit business. They have a product that people are wanting to buy in shoes, but whenever they have a purchase order, they make a second pair that they give away. How many of you are familiar with Tom's Shoes? Have a pair, know it? Great. So now our next example is a non-for-profit business that is actually started in Los Angeles, in Boyle Heights. Nope. There we go. Homeboy Industries. Raise your hand if you've heard of them. Yeah? A couple of us? Okay, great. So this man in the middle, his name is Father Eric Boyle, and he saw the effects of gang violence in Boyle Heights. I don't know how many of you have experienced or know friends or family who have gone through a cycle of violence, such as the gangs that we have here in the States, but it is particularly bad in Boyle Heights. I have some friends who were literally born into the gang, and this is not a laughing matter. This is very serious. I mean, we're talking about people who are dying every single day, not because of their own choices oftentimes. One friend in particular was brought into the gang when he was 6 years old. It was not his choice. He was forced to commit crimes, and he ended up serving 10 years in jail because of that. That's an experience that I haven't lived and I can hardly relate to. When he told me that story, I was shocked. And this company is doing their best to serve that community, ex-convicts and ex-gang members on the whole, at scale rather.
It's sort of a similar thing when you say, wow, I went to the soup kitchen today and they fed all these homeless people.
Can you guys hear that?
Because it's really about people entering into relationships with each other that is mutually life-giving. Or a reporter asked me once, how does it feel to have saved thousands and thousands of lives? I go, they don't know what you're talking about. I know that my life has saved every day that I'm here. I know that I was rescued every second that I'm in this office.
Many of these kids have never had an opportunity, and they have almost no education. Most of them have some kind of criminal record, and Mother Greg has an ability to look at them and see only their potential.
Homeboy Industries, for me, was my starting point to a successful future as a man and as a law-abiding citizen. This is a place where an individual can walk through and change his life around and become a productive member of society.
You keep these young people out of prison. You give them a salary, which makes them feel good about themselves, which then gives them the means to put money back into the community. It's an investment to give to Homeboy Industries.
This is helping people who live in your community, who are going to stay in your community,
community and have their own families, giving them a way to get out of the situation that they're in.
Gangbangers are more than just gangbangers, they're being made. And a lot of individuals are born into it, and a lot of individuals are there not because they want to be. What Homeboy Industries did for me, it gave me an opportunity to have a voice.
Cool. What do you think of that? I know it's hard to hear. This Homeboy Industries project started as a bakery. They now do tattoo removals. They have embroidery shops. They have a whole slew of businesses, and they're all operated by people who are being reintegrated into a law-abiding society. So that's an incredible service for those people. While in front, on the market, on the business end, they're providing great products. For example, the bakery. I don't know if you guys heard, but we actually, as humans, we have to eat food every single day. Did you guys know that? Yeah, so that's why there's a lot of food and beverage businesses around the world. This next example, that was a joke by the way. This next example, I hope you will identify with, because this gentleman, his name is Boyan Slat, and at the age of 16 he came up with this idea. He's 22 years old now and is leading the ocean pickup project.
It's really important that as engineers and inventors that we always develop technologies of which the positive effects are larger than the negative side effects. By stacking those inventions on top of each other, eventually you get to a world that will be many times better than it is today. When I was 16 years old, I was scuba diving in Greece, expecting to see all these beautiful things. I was really disappointed because I saw all plastic bags on the beach. And I just asked myself, I can't keep this up.
250 is the
250.
Yeah.
But and do they need to be in the class by that time? Or?
No, I had them bring their stuff with them, so.
The largest accumulation of ocean plastic in the world. Every year, millions of tons of plastic enter the world's oceans. According to the UN, this is about $13 billion per year. Vessel damage to fishing, as well as pollution on beaches, which needs to be cleaned up. All these large things will crumble down into small pieces. They enter the food chain. That's a food chain that includes us humans. You're 5 days away from civilization. You just look around you and you see all this plastic floating around. The plastic doesn't really go away by itself. Some of this has been floating around for decades. I think you can either be sort of part of the problem or part of the solution. I'd rather be part of the solution. When people say something is impossible, the sheer absoluteness of the statement should be a motivation to investigate more. I think I've really been an inventor all my life. I wondered, well, why would you go after the plastic if the plastic can come to you? What I came up with is a fleet of floating barriers that roam around the ocean but move slower than the plastic, purely powered by the winds, the currents, and the waves. These automatically drift to those areas where most plastic is. The system acts like the plastic.
We see the plastic as a resource. We look beyond the problem and see the financial value.
We will be collecting a lot of plastic, which we can recycle, sell, and fund the operational expenditures of the cleanup. With a fleet of...
Is that cool or what? How many of you guys knew about the Pacific Garbage Patch by show of hands? Cool. How many of you had heard of this project before? Cool. Now, when I watch that, I have to think to myself, okay, so what? Why are you guys here? Because over the course of the next 8 weeks, you're going to be paired in groups of 4 within your classes, and you're going to be charged with creating a business that maps to this process. It doesn't have to be on a global scale. It can be on a local scale or a state scale. If you have the idea that wants to affect the world globally, by all means, go for it. But each of you in your groups will have a role. You'll build a product and service. You'll build a logo and a website. And the one thing that we ask that you incorporate into your process is that the business be a social enterprise. that it be a business that in the operation of it provides a cultural benefit, a social benefit, an economic or an environmental benefit to the community that it's in. Does that all make sense? So, as I said, maybe global change is not really on your mind, but there are local examples as well. You may recognize this building, the Monkey Business Cafe. This is here in Fullerton. They have a really great story. The family owns multiple foster homes, and they realize that, you guys know foster kids are kids who don't have parents, they're orphans, right? When they become 18, they become their own adult and they're emancipated. But they notice that these kids didn't have the mentorship of parents to really understand how to go get a job and lead their career. So they opened this cafe where they offer fantastic food, like really good food. And it's all prepared by kids who have come out of their foster homes, and they do a career development and sort of job training program with them. So again, returning to the business side of things, you're either going to have a product, like I'm either going to McDonald's and I'm buying a burger, got it? Or a service. And a service can be a variety of things. I could be going to the spa to get my nails done. Does that make sense? At the Monkey Business Cafe, they offer products, food. Here at the Muckenthaler, this is the Muckenthaler Cultural Center, which is right around the corner. Most of what they offer is services. They put on exhibitions and performances in order to develop the culture in Fullerton, and also provide education programs like this one that you're experiencing right now. So I want to draw a quick distinction. How many of you have heard of a non-for-profit business? Okay. So the Muckenthaler is a non-for-profit business, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't make a profit. So whereas Tom's Shoes is for-profit, if they make $1 million, they can take that money and they can buy real estate, they can invest it in the stock market, they can build a new building, they can do anything they want with it. If you're a non-profit business, you have an associated mission that business is working toward, right? For the Muckenthaler, for example, they're a celebration of art through the human spirit. So they're pulling all of their profits back into the mission. If you're a nonprofit business, you can't take the $1 million in profit that you made and buy yourself a fancy house. The profits have to go back into the business. Does that make sense? It's okay to say no. Okay. So, creating a social enterprise. Let's get into it. This is the primary question. What need can you solve? So let's talk about it really quick. What do people need? What are the things that you see in the world around you? I know you guys are plugged into what's going on in the world. If you're not, plug in, please, because we need you. What do you wish people didn't have to deal with? You know? You're looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Yep, I'm talking to you in the purple sweater. Hi. No, don't look backward. I'm talking to you. You look a little confused. Can I clarify the question? Does anybody understand? You guys don't think there's any problems in the world? There's nothing people need? I hear whispers. Yes. For those of you who didn't hear, you said, I wish that people didn't have to fight in wars and that there could be world peace. Anybody else think that's a problem by show of hands? Okay, great. What other problems exist in the world? Yeah. Famine. Great. Yes. Equality. Equality of persons? Okay. Yes? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Poverty. Okay. So all of these problems are very big, and you might be surprised to find that some of them are affecting people right here in Fullerton. Like war, for example. I don't know about a business that you can start and end war, but what business can you create? What product or service? This is the next question. What product or service can you create that alleviates some of the pain maybe for people who were displaced by war or affected by war? How can you create a business model that provides a premium service and in doing so helps alleviate famine in Fullerton or in the surrounding areas? The question of a product or service relies on value. So I'm going to come back to this idea of value, but this is one way to understand it. If I want a burger, I'm a customer, I want a burger, and I want to go to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's on the corner, but right next door, there's another company that offers a burger made out of real meat. Which is more valuable? The real meat, right? So move from a place of value. That's what I can tell you. And these are some questions you want to ask yourself, okay? On the one end, you want to ask what the world needs outside. You have to find the customer that your business is going to be serving. But for yourself, so that you can have a good time throughout this project and potentially in the future running this business, what are you good at? What are you passionate about? What do you like? Are you passionate about helping people deal with the effects of war? Are you passionate about human equality? How can you create a business around your own interests that also serves the communities that you're a part of? These are some questions that we're going to ask you to consider over the next 8 weeks. So, this slide is my best attempt to communicate the 10 years of my experience in the entertainment industry in 5 minutes. Okay? It's not really possible, but these are some things that come up time and time again, and I've collaborated with groups of people as small as 3 and as large as 50. So the same dynamics happen. I mean, how many of you have worked in a team and you didn't get along in that team? Things happen, right? There are disagreements and some people just don't blend well together. But I promise you, if you follow some of this advice, you will get through it. So the number one thing is it's cool to be kind. It might sound a little cliche, but I sincerely mean it. How many of you know who Steve Jobs is? Great. Steve Jobs is the CEO of Apple, right? You may not know that in his biography, it revealed that he was very rude to his employees. He berated them and belittled them. And toward the end of his career, he was actually pushed out of Apple because there was so much infighting between he and his employees. So I want you to know that from my experience, people follow leaders who inspire them. People don't want to follow leaders that they're afraid of. Okay? Remember that it's cool to be kind. Surround yourself with good people. The people that you surround yourself will mold you throughout the rest of your life. They say that we are a combination of the 5 people that we keep closest, for example. So when I say surround yourself with good people, I mean find people who are willing to believe in what you're passionate about. If you have an idea that may be just out of reach, find the people who are going to be willing to lift you up so you can get there. Does that make sense? If somebody is filling your mind and your space with negative opinions and negative actions, things you don't want to be around, have that conversation with them that is, be compassionate. I can't go into all the psychosomatic things. Like if someone's depressed and they're making you upset, don't abandon them, okay? Connect with them. But if somebody is tearing down your ideas and constantly devaluing your opinion, my recommendation would just be to let them go. Provide a valuable product or service. This is one of the most important things. If you're not providing value, your business will die. Here's another way your business will die. We were talking about money. Money is like oxygen to a business. What happens to the human body if it doesn't have oxygen? So if a business doesn't have money, it dies. Just FYI. Play for the long term. As I was saying, sitting down with yourself and thinking, okay, this guy's been talking at me for 30 minutes. Sort of sounds like he knows what he's talking about. My teacher forced me to be here. Those videos I could kind of hear. What are you going to get out of this? Like, what is actually valuable to you? What are you trying to work toward? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to high school and college? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Either way, how can you be planning for the long term? Every decision you make will affect the way that people remember you. And you can always come back from losses, you can always come back from failures. But if you know where you want to go and you never waver and you can map your decisions to that final destination, I don't care if you want to be a famous basketball star, okay? Or you want to be a YouTube makeup star, or you want to be an astronaut, or you want to be a video game designer. Whatever it is you want to do, figure it out for yourself so that you can make decisions based on that. And that way, even if you fail, even if it takes you 40 business ideas before you finally land in one that actually makes you profit, at least you won't have to regret how you got there, that you were honest to yourself along the way. And lastly, communicate, communicate, communicate. In my experience, most of the disagreements and conflicts that we find as people is a matter of miscommunication. I don't care if it's between your boyfriend and your girlfriend, your mom and your dad, you and your teachers, your friends. It typically comes down to misunderstandings and people not being willing to listen to each other. So, if you find yourself, specifically for this project, in your teams, just missing each other, not really connecting, not being able to have a productive conversation, I want to encourage you to over-communicate. Communicate why you think your idea is the best. Communicate why you're hesitant about their idea. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You'll be glad you did. So let's talk about these teams a little bit. I need 4 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on up. And everybody else, stand up. Everybody else, stand up. Don't groan too much. Don't groan too much. We're still moving. All right. I want everybody to follow along with me, okay? Raise both your hands in the air. Raise both your hands in the air above your head. Lift your wrist. Extend your fingers, okay? Now we're going to do a 9-point isolation. It's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Touch the ground. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again. Who's got an Asian language?
Korean.
Korean, go.
Oh.
Go.
Quickly.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉.
All right. Chinese? Jap, French? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. All right, everybody sit down. All right. No, you guys say. Put this on. Put this on. Put this on. Put this on. All right. All right, everyone. I need your help. I need your help. Everybody do me a favor. My man, stand right here. Second, stand right here. Stand right here? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. And you, stand right here.
Oh, okay.
What's your name? Sabrine?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Sabrine. And your name?
Shannon.
Shannon?
Nathan.
Nathan?
And Joshua.
Nathan. Joshua, Sabrine, Shannon, Nathan, Joshua, Jeremy. Got it. Okay. So I need you guys' help because we have 10 minutes before the end of school. And I want to explain these teams. So, number 1 is your senior strategy officer. Okay? It's going to be you.
Okay.
This person is your leader, all right? Hence the hat. In many ways, they are the heartbeat of your organization. Here, can you do a little heartbeat with this?
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh, great. This is the person who's going to work on your 3-year strategy plan. Where is your business and idea going to go over the course of 3 years? They're also going to be in charge of creating your mission statement. Your mission statement is a very simple, 12 words or less statement about why you're doing the thing you're doing. You know, find the meaning in this. Jobs, not jails. Jobs, not jails is the Homeboy Industries mission statement. Is that clear? Does that communicate the purpose of their work? One for one, improving lives is Tom's shoes. For the Muckenthaler, we have this vision statement. We are a celebration of the human spirit through art. And then, and your teachers will get this, so they'll help you with this. The next paragraph actually talks about what the mission is and expands on the vision statement. And then the following is how we do that. We do that through exhibitions and performances. So, number one, strategy officer. You're going to be creating a mission statement and a strategic plan. The logo falls to the marketing officer. For marketing officer, let's see, you're going to need to be able to talk to people. And you're going to have to write down things. And yeah, that's good. So, chief marketing officer. Let's look at a couple logos. A logo should be simple and stunning. All right? If I show you this logo, for example, what is it? Got it. If I show you this logo, got it. And when you see this logo, a few different things come to mind, right? Just do it, fitness, right? Different things. You want your logo to also, or your statement, whatever it is, si se puede. This is, did you guys know that was the United Farm Workers? What about this one?
Oh, McDonald's.
Right? So these are short and memorable, and that's why they succeed. Now here's something I want you to remember. I want everybody to take a full stop. Hold your breath. Go. All right, exhale and listen to what I'm about to say. Don't go crazy about what you decide to name your business, and I'll tell you why. This business, which we're all aware of, Google, didn't mean anything to anyone when they got started. It just simply didn't. Google would have still succeeded if they were called Schmoogle, or if they were called Snowman, or whatever. Your name is not... Let me rephrase. How clever your name is not going to dictate your success. What will dictate your success is what you actually do. People are going to know you for the impact and the way that you treat other people, not based on how clever you are. But, bonus points for being clever. This person's also going to make a marketing plan. This is all you. And they'll do the SWOT. Your teachers will go over SWOT with you. These are some critical questions worth asking. In terms of marketing, the world of marketing is changing every day. So I want you to understand this distinction. There's marketing. Got it? Marketing. And there's, in a different category, sales. Sales is, buy my hat for $20, okay? I need to sell this hat. Marketing is the story that you tell in order to make people want to buy that hat. Got it? You can market on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Twitter. You can market knocking on doors. You can market with flyers. But all of that stuff, it teaches the community and your customer about why your product is valuable. Use marketing to provide value and tell the story, and eventually you will win. All right, 3-year budget. This is going to go to the financial officer. You're going to need to work with numbers and take different measurements and be very detail oriented. And keep a smile all the while. Got it? Are you guys enjoying this? A little bit. Okay, good. Have I changed your life yet? Some yes. Okay, I'll take it. Here's the thing about the budget. For the purposes of this project, you are not selling your budget, you're selling your idea. Okay? The basic thing you want to remember about your budget is don't spend more money than you have. Make sure that the money coming in is more than the money you have to spend to keep the business going. Remember what I said about oxygen and cash? Keep cash flowing through your business. Don't spend more than you have. The last role on your team is going to be the Chief Technology Officer. Chief Technology Officer is going to need the latest technology. And they're also going to have to do a fair amount of writing. Okay, so the way that this works is Oops. How will technology be used to communicate your story and to grow your business? You know, is your business going to run on the blockchain? I don't know. You can think of anything you want. But one of the main things that you have to do is create a website. You can do that on Adobe. You can do that on a template maker, whatever you want. But I really want to encourage you to get creative with this. Because at the end of the day, you want to tell a story. And like I have up here, audio, video, do they come to your website and then there's like a 2-minute rap that you recorded that is like everything about your business? Or is there a video that you could shoot on your phone that explains the ethos, the characteristics of your company? Or maybe it's interactive. Maybe you have like a VR headset and people can like jump into your website and experience it, you know? Feel free to get creative. Even if it's something you can't fully design and code and create in the time of the 8 weeks, you can still dream about it and write what you would do if you had more time. And production schedule. I want to underline this production schedule. How many of you think you have an idea for this project right now? Awesome. I want you to do me a favor. Raise your hand again. You have an idea? Great. Do me a favor. Today, before you get in the car to leave, I want you to write a note in your journal or on any piece of paper that you won't lose that says, January 25th, I got the idea for blank, period. That's it. And then start the documenting of your journey. The worst thing you can do is get the idea today and not tell anybody about it until every single detail is figured out. It's okay to share your process with the world, with your teammates, with your teachers. Document it. Take videos, take audio, take photos, write about it, whatever works for you. But people are much more excited to follow the story of the creation of a company than to just see the perfect shining diamond that comes out of nowhere. Believe me or don't, that's what the world is moving toward. Thanks, guys. You guys did a great job. Can we get a round of applause for them? Go ahead and just throw yourself in the bag. Okay, 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes to change your life. Raise your hand if I haven't changed your life. Raise them high. I want to know. Raise them if I haven't changed your life. Wow, that's so most of the room I've changed your life. I'll take that. Here's the thing, everybody. All of the things that I just talked about with your team members are going to be put in a PowerPoint presentation by your technology officer. You're going to present to your teachers, and they're going to choose the best of the best. Of the 3 schools that are participating in this program, the top 12 will present their project to local business owners in Fullerton. Whoever is the top of the top provides the most exciting, practical, valuable, and creative business idea is going to win a cash prize. How much? Everyone, how much? How much? How much? Hundreds of dollars. Oh, that's it. Yes. What? Yes, you have to split it with your group. Here's the thing. I can't tell you how much it is. I can't tell you how much it is because right now it is upwards of $300, but I cannot tell you because at any moment someone could come in and say, I like this project, I'm going to add $1,000. Could happen, no promises. Lastly, are there any questions? Are there any questions? This is something that your teachers will go over with you. It's a way of addressing where you're at in your process. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Those are usually internal, like the people you're working with are fighting, or the structure of your business is not quite right. Do you have a question? What's up? Oh. You don't. So this gentleman, what's your name? Joshua, that's right. Joshua asked, how do you measure creativity? Here's the thing, Joshua. It's up to you. I measure creativity by how I feel at the end of the day, how many people I spoke to, how many things I practiced. But you can't really quantify something that is based on, because creativity for me is really about problem solving. It's about finding new ways to see things that are familiar. So I don't think that there's a mathematical way to quantify it. Any other questions? So back to SWOT, we have like 30 seconds. Your teachers will ask you to do this as part of your final presentation, but you can do this for your business or for yourself whenever you want. Focus on what you're good at. Focus on what you're good at and surround yourself with people who complement those strengths and can substitute for those weaknesses. Got it? Any other questions? Who wants to go home? Okay, great. Why don't you hold. Yeah, you guys are basically going on your own little Shark Tank. That's fine. My name is Jeremy Charles Hone. I very much appreciate your attention. I hope that this talk has... I hope you were able to get something out of this talk. Very seriously, like no baloney, how many of you got something out of this talk? Okay, cool. I appreciate that. I'm happy to pass it over to you whenever you want for them.